Hey, welcome back. It is the Intuitive Dream Podcast. This is episode 5, and we are talking about all things dreams here. My name is Tricia, for those that are new. And today I wanted to share a dream with you that I had. There were 3 symbols that really stood out in this particular dream. They are pants, people, and rooms. Usually when I talk about my dream with people, everybody has a different interpretation. I do encourage you to use your intuition because you know your life best. But I am here to help and here to talk about it. This is a safe space. So if you have any dreams that you would like to break down, just click on the link in the description box below and we can talk about it. Okay, let me go ahead and share my dream with you. I came into a room. I brought a change of clothes because I didn't like what I had on. So I changed into clothes that I brought. My manager was leaving the room, so everyone else was heading out too. And now there was a sense of urgency because my manager left. I was supposed to go with her to attend a meeting with someone. I looked at what I had on and I didn't like what I had, so I decided to change into another pair of pants I had. People were waiting for me to go somewhere, and as we were going out of the room, I decided I wanted to change my pants again and into the pair of pants I came in with the first time. But it ended up being a different pair. These were big pants and not the jeans I originally had on when I came in, but I put them on. As we were walking out, some different people were walking in the room, not necessarily the friendliest. I walked out of the room. So let's go ahead and break this down. I came into the room of people. I brought a change of clothes because I didn't like what I had on. So I changed into the clothes I brought. If you're in a room, it is an area, it is a space. It's not necessarily something that is permanent. It's just a location in which you are currently. I feel like it's a phase or a situation or a chapter in your life. If I think of people, and it's a lot of people, you really can't, it's a lot of different things going on. Like, it's a lot of people to look at. You really can't focus in on specifics. You can't focus in on one person. It's just a lot of things, right? A lot of variations. So in this context, I'm thinking of people as probably things that you're doing in this phase, the things that are going on in your life. The next part says, I brought a change of clothes because I didn't like what I had on. And to me, clothes represents kind of like how you show up in the world. It's your image. And we have a choice in the matter. We can change it out, change it however often. People change out their clothes, as soon as you leave the room, they change it into something else. People who switch up on you. But in this situation, you are transitioning into a different person. You have matured, you have elevated spiritually, and you are just showing up differently. Like, who you were is not who you want to show up as now. So in this phase, you want to show up differently. And you knew you wanted to show up differently because you brought it into the room. You knew that at some point you are going to change. And when I think of this, I think of situations where, you are in maybe you are in a situation or phase in your life that you are really not happy with. And you kind of are, as you are in this, you are thinking of how you want to show up or things you would like to change in your life. At a certain point, you just realize this is how I'm going to be. I'm no longer going to deal with or be this way. It just doesn't serve me. And so you decide that you are going to make that change. And this is what I feel these sentences are saying. The next section says, my manager was leaving the room, so everyone else was heading out too, and now there was a sense of urgency because my manager left. Manager, to me, if you think about it, a manager is a person that manages tasks or manages work that's being accomplished by other people. I don't think it's an external person per se in this dream. I think it's representative of responsibilities. So manager is the responsibilities that you're taking on, kind of like the burdens that you're taking on, tasks, people, just the responsibilities that you have. And the manager was leaving the room. So room represents, to me, the room represents like phase of life, situation or chapter. So in this new chapter, you are removing some of those old responsibilities or those day-to-day responsibilities that you have that you don't want to do anymore, right? They don't serve you. You know how you get rid of something, or for example, like your purse. I don't know why I go back to the purse, but usually something that you do day to day. Let me think of another situation. Almost like if you are a caretaker. So say every day you are taking care of someone and then all of a sudden you don't need to, you're already in the habit of doing certain things because you've done it for so long. And then now the next day you didn't have to do it anymore. So there's a sense of urgency, kind of like you're anxious. It is an uneasiness or anxiousness. Is that a word? Or you're just anxious. So you're like, oh my gosh, kind of like withdrawal symptoms of something that you have been doing for so long and now you don't. So it just feels weird now that you don't have those responsibilities, if that makes sense. I would love to know what you think. What did you get from that part? Okay, so the next part says, I was supposed to go with her, my manager, to attend a meeting with someone. I was supposed to go with my manager, which represents responsibilities, to attend a meeting. And when I think of meeting, I think of collaboration or an exchange of information with someone. So there was someone else that was going with me to this meeting. So that's like partnership or someone who is supporting me. From what I gather, you are no longer wanting to take on the responsibilities that you had or being in a support role for someone else. And when you look down, when it said I looked down at what I had and I didn't like what I had on, so I decided to change another pants. So that meant that you no longer want to show up or do the things that you have been doing. And the interesting thing is you are changing into a pair of pants, which to me represents changing or stepping into more of an authoritative position, meaning that you are taking control. You are putting your pants on. You standing 10 toes down. You no longer want to show up like that, and you are taking control of the situation and letting people know what it is. And I put down here, you may have made a decision to no longer take on the responsibilities of others and have chosen to put yourself first. Okay, so for the next section, it says, people were waiting for me to go somewhere, and as we were going out of the room, I decided I wanted to change my pants again and into the pair I came in with the first time. But it ended up being a different pair. They were big pants and not the jeans I originally had on when I put them on. A lot of things really stood out to me, especially like the jeans. It went from saying pants to jeans. And when I think of jeans, I think of comfort. It looks like things have changed and you now have people there to support you. As you're going out of a phase or chapter in your life, there are going to be people there to support you. And you realize that you wanted to change in your pants again. So now that you're stepping into this new phase or role in your life, whatever that looks like for you, you may feel kind of like uncomfortable at first. You might want to kind of like the underlying beliefs that we tell ourselves, or kind of like the imposter syndrome, where we're trying to revert back sometimes into our old ways or old mindset. But the reality is you are a different person. When it said you want to change back into some pants again, but it ended up being a different pair of pants, and these pants are bigger, so you can't go back. Sometimes we have a sense or feeling of wanting to go back into our old ways, even though our old ways don't serve us. And this is what I feel like it's saying. Sometimes, when we are stepping into a new chapter or journey in our life, sometimes we reflect back on our old ways or old life and think about that, but we realize we can't go back in that direction because it doesn't serve us, and that where we are is for our highest good. This is what's best for us now. Another thing that stood out was the big pants. So you're stepping into a bigger role. That's probably why in the dream it said you wanted to step back into the other pair of pants, because it's kind of like a bigger role to fill. And so you're like imposter syndrome, or just like, ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. Kind of like doubting yourself or not sure whether you are ready for the next phase or chapter in your life, whether you're ready to take on this new thing. But you are prepared because you came in with another pair of pants. You already knew the assignment. You were prepared for it. I believe coming into the room and you had close with you meant that you are prepared for what's next. The next part, as we were walking out, some different people were walking in the room. Not necessarily the friendliest. I walked out the room. You may have people in your life that might not necessarily like what you are doing or who you have become. And you might have known them for a long time. But the thing is, if they're not with it, then they have to go. What comes to me is that there are potentially people that may be around you that has been around you for so long, and they are used to you being a certain way. And now that you are in a new phase, or you are showing up and you are showing up differently, they don't like it. The fact is, you walked out of the room. The people who are not for you, whether you knew them or not, they want to be around for the next phase. It's kind of like birds of a feather that flock together, right? When you are moving a little bit differently and not how you have in the past, you can't be associated or be around the same people. You have to elevate and be and position yourself to be with people, like-minded people. And that's what it seems like is going on, right? You're realizing that there are old habits, ways, people that are currently in your life that is going to change. It's going to have to change in order for you to be your best version. Here's the message of what I think the dream is telling us. You are becoming or having to become a higher version of yourself, and you are showing up and doing things differently than you have in the past. Things, people, situations, or burdens you took on that do not serve you are being removed from your life. You may feel uneasy about the shift at first, but it's time to enjoy your life and start focusing on yourself more. There are people around who will support you and will stand by you. You have a bigger role to take on now and can no longer be around those who do not have your best interests at heart. You deserve better because you are amazing. And that's your message. I hope you enjoyed that message. And if you have any dreams that you would like to get interpretations of, please click in the link in the description box below, and I would love to talk about it in a future podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, consider liking this video as well as subscribing to the channel. I'll see you next